Today we're going to be talking about a whole lot, okay? It's kind of going to be educational and entertaining. Today we're going to be talking about the DL Whisperer. The DL Whisperer, aka Naquan Palmer, who from what I understand is from Mississippi, Alabama. I almost said it backwards. But he's been making his way on the internet, being this young, gay, feminine black man who is calling out athletes, rappers, and just the everyday man, especially black men. Because when you think of DL, what comes to mind is a black man on the down low, living his life as a fluid, pansexual, bisexual, or even though just strictly a gay man, just tucking that part of himself away from the world and living a secret lifestyle that his family, his wife, his baby mom, his girlfriend, his whoever, they don't know about. He's creeping with other men. He's on Grindr. He's on these apps. He's going to these bathhouses. He's going to these meetups, and he's behind dumpsters with 12 men waiting to have their turn with him. This is real life. This is what is happening. And I know there's a lot of black men that don't like black women having these conversations about homosexuality or just sexuality when it comes to black men and what's really going on out here in these streets. And I think it's a way to silence the reality that a lot of them aren't as truthful and forthcoming as they are claiming to be. And really, they want to keep the veil down. They don't want the veil to be lifted in terms of how they're truly living in the lifestyles that they're into. They carry a lot of shame about it. And they like to blame it on black women being homophobic and this and that. And yes, there's a lot of homophobia in the so-called black community, whether it be in America or in Jamaica, Africa, it don't matter. Homosexuality is something that is taboo, even in 2026. And a lot of times it really stems from religion. It stems from black Christianity. And I have to say black Christianity because I feel like white Christians and black Christians and how we practice Christianity is very different. I don't know what goes on in I don't know what goes on in white churches, but I know in black churches, there's a lot of sermons that lash out and go against homosexuality and speak about homosexuality, particularly when it comes to black men. Because they don't even really speak about lesbianism or lesbians or bisexuality. It really, really just focuses on homosexuality. And, pastors and deacons alike and deaconesses, you see a lot of sermons that basically denounces homosexuality, demonizes homosexuality, goes against the lifestyle and the community and talks badly and always talk about it being a sin and an abomination and Sodom and Gomorrah and all of these things. So black men are definitely dedicated to keeping their lifestyle a secret. And the DL Whisperer has called himself as being one of the people who was going to put an end to that or call it out, or he claims to be a protector of women or advocate for women, basically calling out these down low men, industry, blue collar, whatever, dope dealer, it don't matter. He's calling them out and basically letting women know what they should be looking for. What are the signs? What these men really do and why they do it. And he definitely has gained a lot of popularity on TikTok, Instagram. I would say mainly on TikTok. And he's been causing quite a stir up. And a lot of black women who definitely have probably been betrayed and found out that someone that they were dating was on a DL, or their husband on a DL, or they found out that they were dealing with trans women or whatever it was. So there's a lot of black women who like the DL Whisperer, and they like what he's doing. They feel like he's protecting them by letting them know what's going on, because of course black women are more at risk at contracting HIV than any other group of women. We are more at risk of contracting HIV, black women. And the same thing goes for black men. But black women, because we predominantly date black men, and black men are out there doing all types of things. And I'm not saying that black women aren't doing all types of things too, because I feel like, the OnlyFans culture, and people have definitely turned to the streets doing strange things for change in order to make the dollar stretch and to make an extra penny in this economy. A lot of people have opened up to selling themselves for money, being in the works of adult film, adult entertainment is not as frowned down upon as it used to be. A lot of people are more open to it. A lot of people kind of like, they like, okay, I understand. I see what you're doing. You got to get your money. You feel me? And we're in a culture, in the space of now, where it's like, do as thou will. You got to make money. You got to do what you got to do for money. And if selling yourself is a part of that, then so be it. It's one of the oldest professions under the sun. And some of our mothers, aunts, sisters, grandmothers have done it in order to put food on the table. Meanwhile, the men, they ran off and went about their business, and the women were left to deal with the responsibility. When a woman has to survive, a woman is going to do what she needs to survive, even if that means compromising her safety and her health and her morality and her reputation, getting into the works of adult film and adult entertainment. But anyways, Laquan Palmer, he's doing what he's doing. And do I feel like he is genuine in his efforts to alert the female population about what these men are doing? I mean, I'm gonna let you guys watch a couple of clips, and then I'm gonna come back and really get into some things when it comes down to Laquan Palmer, particularly this situation that he got going on with T.S. Madison. He did an interview with Tasha K about 2 weeks ago that almost has the views are up there. Okay, he talks about Ruby Rose. He talks about Vince, Tamar Braxton, and all these things. And now he's facing legal charges because he decided to pop up at T.S. Madison's property. He's been threatening T.S. Madison. He has singled her out, being that he has something against trans women and doesn't agree with trans women and think that they're men, and how they are a detriment to women and women's rights and things of that nature. And so he popped up at her property, did a drive-through, and recorded it. And you're going to see all of that in the clips. And I'll come back and give my take on all of this stuff.
With transgender people, I didn't know about transgender people until 2020. In 2020, when TikTok was popular, I saw people like transitioning and sticking themselves with needles, and I went against it. Because people always say that I'm just doing this just now. I've always been against transgender people. Because
I heard there's like an underlying beef between the LGBTQ and the T's. Yeah. Like there's like us versus them, and they're not a part of us.
Yeah, they're not.
Because essentially gender has nothing to do with your sexuality.
Thank you. But as you can see, what do the trans women always do? Fight to be a part of every single thing that they can be a part of. So they fought to be a part of the LGBT. The first letter is L. It was started for lesbians. The LGBT was originally created for women. They wanted women to have equal healthcare access, which they still don't have. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm like, it was never created for people of gender identity.
So the T is a LGBT.
Think about it. Everything is the sexuality itself, the T. The trans women, like you see now, they want to be a part of everything. So they fought in the 1960s to be a part of the LGBT, to be included. And now they're upset because guess what I'm going to say? You're a gay man, because at the end of the day, if we're going by sexuality, you're a gay man. If we're going by gender, I guess you can call yourself a woman. So they don't like that, I refer to them as gay man, but we have the same body parts. We have sex in the same hole. We have the same hormones. At 45, we're all gonna go and get a doctor to stick a finger up our butt for a prostate exam. So we're all men. You're a gay man. You're just hyper feminine. Like, I'm feminine. Like, I don't ever deny that, but I'm not hyper feminine. There's never been a time where I wanted to be a woman, thought I was the woman. I don't think like
metrosexual.
That. Yeah. Well, I think metrosexual is still not the same. Like, trans women think that they're women. Like, they think that they're you.
Oh, I mean, they can think that.
But they really believe it.
But they can think that.
Yeah. But I mean, and there's
science
laws.
Is science, though.
True, but there's laws that protect them.
So you are actually trying to undo the laws when it comes to
I want to lobby.
People?
Yes, I want to lobby. I want to grassroots. I want to raise money because.
So you're trying to get into politics when it comes to this?
And I didn't want to, but I don't really. I feel like I don't have a choice. I'm seeing that it's hurting more women than anything. It hurts women and children.
T.S. Madison, bring that ass outside. Look where I'm at, ho. What's up?
Hey, trans community. Some of y'all want T.S. Madison to save y'all and save this situation so bad. Listen, T.S. Madison know what the fuck. Remember, everybody's phone number is public information. You just need to know their government name. That's why I'm like, y'all thinking y'all done something. You thought you done a big one and you done a very little one. You're talking about waking my mother up. Where's she at? Y'all, all we gotta do is get his address. Y'all posted it. What happened? What happened? Because all you needed was my address. You have it. And nothing happened. So what does that tell you? Scary. All you needed was my phone number. You have it. Nothing happened. I got my phone found. What did he do? I'm still here. You're still a man. You see how it didn't change anything. The reality for you, you still have a prostate. You still have a scrotum. You don't have a uterus. And you still can never be a woman. No matter what y'all do, you're still going to be a man. I know, but I have to remind them. Because they thought doxing my phone number, like, bitch, Ruby Rose already done that years ago. You know how many times my number that made it to the internet? My number was never a secret. They were like, oh my God, I'm going to harass him. You're going to call my phone 1 million times? Luckily, we have features now where you could just silence unknown numbers. So they done absolutely nothing. They done absolutely nothing. How do we go? Very, very wrong answer. And you prove my point every time. That's why I don't be arguing with y'all. Because y'all are delusional. Delusional. Like you just, well, it's whatever it means. No, it's not to each his own. It's not. That's what y'all don't get. It's not just you get to choose. You don't get to choose. You're a man. You don't get to choose what a woman is. They get to choose. They are just women. That's the thing. Like, it's not even something that is a choice. They're not choosing to be women. They didn't wake up and say, you know what? I'm going to be a woman. I'm going to be a woman today. Yeah, like, so then I think, like, they just picked the day. They said, you know what? This was the good day to be a woman. Let's do it. I don't have to be God. That's common sense. That's common sense. Like, you see women every day. Go ask them, do they wake up and choose to be a woman? Or is it something that they just have to do? Trans is trans. If you have gender dysmorphia, you have gender dysmorphia. How can a woman turn into a man? Like, use your head. That can't happen either. That's why I said both ways is still delusion. Neither way it can happen. A woman can't become a man and a man can't become a woman. The fucking end. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. Like, and that, to me, that is very simple. Lord. You never heard a trans person? Your ID says female. Your ID says female. Your documents that when you got your name changed and all of that, it says female. It shouldn't even say female because you could never be a female. Remember that. It should still say male, right? But it doesn't. And then y'all walk around, I don't want anybody to know I was the man. It can't say woman. Nobody, and that's the point though. Your gender, you can't even change your gender. You can never be a female and you can never be a woman. That's the point that we're trying to get y'all to realize. They're synonymous. Because to be a woman, you have to be a female. Females turn into women. Girls are born female and then they grow into women. I'm not agreeing with you. The point is that a man can never be a female and a man can never be a woman. You're trying to act like, and this is what y'all do, because woman is a social construct, y'all be like, well, no, we're entitled to it. You can't say that you're a female. If we put female on the bathrooms, female, male, and we started going by, and if we took away the word woman and we just went by male and female, you wouldn't be able to be called a female. So why does your ID say it?
So it says here, in January 2025, I launched the DL Whisperer online an online brand dedicated to empowering women and helping them avoid download men. My mission has always been to support women in making informed choices and to create a safer, more honest community for women. My brand is about going against the patriarchal system. However, my commitment to this cause has come with significant challenges. From the beginning, there was tension from the beginning after I made a statement that trans women are men. The transgender community has done all these things to silence me from using my voice to help real women. The LGBTQIA+ is trying to protect patriarchy while I continue to go against it. I'm using my male privilege to help women instead of oppressing them. Men in general are not happy about this. Since the start of DL Whisperer, I have faced intense adversity. I have been doxxed, my social security number, address, and other personal information was exposed, and my family members have been targeted by these groups of people. It's not fair that my family is being targeted for my freedom of speech. False narratives has been spread about me, leading to the loss of my employment and putting my safety at risk. Let me take a sip of my water. The emotional toll has been heavy and the need to protect myself and loved ones has become urgent. Now I'm beginning a legal battle to defend myself and my work with my court date set for March 3rd, 2026. I am also preparing to relocate to ensure my safety and the safety of my family. The funds raised will go directly towards legal fees, moving expenses, and professional services to remove my intimate videos and private information from the internet. Intimate videos. What? So they leaked some videos of him doing the do? Wow. Every contribution will help me regain stability and continue my mission to empower women. I want my supporters to know that I will never stop helping women. As long as I am here and able, your positive messages, prayers, and encouragement mean the world to me. I am deeply grateful for your support, and I encourage you to stay strong, continue to protect yourselves. Thank you for standing with me during this difficult time. And this is, he has been able to raise $10,666. The goal is 50,000 So, this is what he has gotten himself into.
Oh my God, y'all. So, Jaya, we've been out all day and I'm like exhausted.
No,
but
I'm exhausted.
You exhausted?
Yes.
Oh my God, Jaya, why?
Because we did 2 things.
No, we did more than 2 things.
Okay, we did 3.
But what we did today was we went to make sure that we're filled with the whole armor of God. I want to talk to y'all really quick about this thing going around in the world where I'm seeing people holding up signs saying protect the dolls, and no one is protecting us. So tonight I just want to tell the dolls, protect yourself. See, what? You see it. Fuck protect the dolls. Protect yourself, bitch.
Sit still.
Okay.
No, you just got to turn to push it back that way because I ain't got on no panties. They got to go. No, turn it on. It ain't on, Myrtle.
As long as you don't have on a gaff, honey, we should be okay.
It ain't on. You say, Tasha can't tell everybody I'm going to jail? Oh, yeah, okay. That's what somebody said in the comments. All right. Okay. All right.
That's perfect.
Well, make sure y'all get y'all tickets.
Thank you.
Who should have went to jail is that man that was fucking her mama's boyfriend that was fucking her ass. Her sister. Oh, Lord. But that mama was too inebriated from smoking all them bolos, smoking all that crack, bitch, while she was laid up over there, zoned out. She couldn't take care of churn. That's why her motherfucking stepdaddy had his dick on her ass. It's unfortunate. You know, that's the way traumas usually happen. That's why their traumas happen the way that it does. Traumas tend to come from things like that, carrying that for such a long time. Then you become vile and dirty, like the person that put their vile, dirty dick in your ass while your mama was scratched out.
And she was in there for almost a year.
Girl, wait a minute, she's out?
And look, I don't know where she got that Timu attorney from. He said, I need a moment.
Wait, she got a Timu attorney?
Baby, she got him right off of Timu.
She did.
She sure did.
So a lot of girls got a Timu attorney. I don't.
Why are you being messy?
I'm not. I don't.
That's as close as you gonna get. Okay. Oh God. Oh God. Wait, I'm gonna have to turn this box fan towards me. You got me started already. What was it? You got me started already. Oh my God. What? That little half look over the shoulder.
Because one thing a great attorney tells you to do is
sit tight.
Yeah.
And sit quietly.
This is how you know.
That's right.
Timu is involved.
Over the fence.
Yes, because it's too much movement going on.
Mm-hmm. But they're gonna learn today.
Oh, too much movement. Too much movement.
What?
Too much movement. But we like it though.
Uh-huh.
You know what a nail does?
What is it? Right in the coffin.
Thanks.
They said skinty shoulders, man.
You see that?
Okay. Woo.
You see that? You see all that pussy?
What is it?
You see?
Okay, so you guys have seen all of the footage that I have put, or the clips of him driving past T.S. Madison's property. Also, the things that he has said on his TikTok, making threats, saying that he wants T.S. Madison unalived, how he's going to pop up and pop out at her any chance that he gets, that he wants to squabble up. Is getting crazy. And also some clips of T.S. Madison I had put in there, her making references to the case, because she has put a restraining order on the Dia Whisperer, Naquan Palmer. And she's taking him to court, and they're said to be set for March the 3rd of this year. So that's coming up very soon. And I don't think it's going to lean in his favor at all, because he has said and done a lot of things to incriminate himself. He has put himself in this position, and now he has to be held accountable, because it's one thing to say what you want online, what he calls his freedom of speech, and he says that he is being threatened and has to relocate, and his family's being threatened, all this stuff, how he's been doxxed. But he should have known what was going to come. He should have known what was going to come. Harassing people and spreading ignorance, because he's saying a lot of things that, you know, he's entitled to his opinion, but at the same time, everybody's not going to take your opinion lightly, especially when you're speaking out against them, especially when you're slandering their name, especially when you're popping up at their property, especially when you are disrespecting people. And the trans community definitely don't like what he's doing, because you are causing even more friction between black women and black trans women, and women and trans women in general. Well, I would say this is mostly in the black community, because he's black, and I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know if there's any white women that watches his content, but not really. I feel like he caters to black women. He's a black gay man. I don't feel like white women are at all watching his stuff and are invested in supporting him. It's black women who's supporting him and who watches his videos and stuff like that. And he's speaking for black women mainly, even though he's saying women, and women it seems inclusive. Definitely he is speaking about black women. And I just think he's making a silly mistake. You know, I understand you want to make some money as a content creator, and you have started this thing, and you have found your niche, which is being an advocate for black women and speaking out against trans women, and saying that he wants to raise money and get into grassroots and possibly get into politics to change some policies in regards to trans women's rights and what they can and can't do as far as, you know, using the bathrooms with women. And, you know, you can't, one thing about it is you can't tell other people how to live their lives. You can't control other people. And I feel like as long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as you're being honest, you should be able to live your life how you want to. I feel like there's so many other problematic things that's going on that needs to be called to attention versus focusing on trans women as a black woman. And I say that because at the end of the day, when it comes to trans women's rights and the things that they have been granted, that wasn't because of any opinion that black women had. That mainly had to do with white women and what they felt, and white trans women and what they felt, and what was passed in legislative and law. Black women, in our opinions, doesn't count in the arena of white politics and anything that's going on in a system that is dominated and controlled by white people, that's created by white people. Feminism didn't include black women. Black women were excluded from the feminism movement and from women's rights. We weren't considered equal to white women, and white women did not consider us equal to them. They didn't want anything to do with us politically or socially. And while we tried to join feminism in that movement, we had to start our own movement, aka black feminism, but more so womanism, which was started by Alice Walker, the novelist and the creator of the iconic movie The Color of Purple. This is a movie that is a household movie. And this is like a movie that is a household name in black houses, right? Like everybody, for the most part, especially those who were born in America, that's black American, or even if you aren't, like, this is a part of Black culture. The Color Purple, that movie, is a part of Black culture. A lot of us read it in school as a part of our curriculum, depending on what kind of classes we took in college. And even in high school, we have read The Color Purple. So we know who Alice Walker is. And she coined the phrase womanism. And she coined it in her book. I believe it was, the book was called, let me look it up right now. She coined it in her book called Our Mother's Garden, In Search of Our Mother's Gardens. Womanism Pose, or Prose, right? And she created this book in 1983. And womanism is a form of feminism that senses the experiences, struggles, and voices of Black women and women of color. And why do you think Alice Walker had to create something separate from feminism? That's because white women don't see us as their equal. Our experiences are different from that of a white woman because we are Black. We don't have the same experiences as a white woman. Even though we're both women, we live two different realities, okay? Because of racism, because of race. And so white women have their privilege, even though they still face discrimination due to being a woman, due to being female, right? But we deal with both. We deal with sexism and we deal with racism. And we had to create our own movement because our experiences and our struggles and our concerns are different than that of a white woman. And they surely didn't care to fix any of the issues that we have or help fix or call attention or be an ally. They didn't know. They said, F you, we got our own situation going on and you Black women got to figure it out on your own and go over there. We don't care about what you're going through. We're dealing with white men and white patriarchy. And this is what we're focused on. We're not making or paving a way for a better life or experience for Black women and girls. That's not our concern. So when we sit here and we get upset about trans women and stuff like that, and that's between white women and white trans women. That's not between white Black women and Black trans women. And like, we're not a concern in politics. Nobody cares about how we feel. We're not even considered women. I don't think we're considered women. We're not considered human. Still in 2026, right? Like in the late 18th century, we were 3/5 of a human. Black people, we weren't a whole person. It wasn't until we were granted citizenship and rights that we were given freedom and we were considered a whole person and a whole human being. But we see even in this day and age, in the 21st century, how Black women are treated in the medical industry, how we are turned away from hospitals while being in labor, how we are treated by doctors, how we are ignored. The pain that we feel is ignored. The symptoms that we bring to our doctors and physicians' attention is ignored. We are shooed away. We're told we're over-exaggerating. The pain that we feel isn't real. And we are oftentimes misdiagnosed or go undiagnosed for so long until it's too late. And we lose our battle to a disease, namely cancer, right? Whether it be breast or cervical or uterine or whatever it is, we are not treated the same. And so I just think that we need to shift our attention, because at the end of the day, what trans women and what they have been allowed to do and their rights has nothing to do with Black women, because we don't really have a say in that. When they're casting a vote, they don't care to get the vote of a Black woman in terms of what we agree upon or what we think is fit or proper and what trans women should and shouldn't be allowed to do. That's white women and feminists, which that was created by white women, and to deal with their concerns and what they're facing politically and socially, what they don't agree with. If that makes any sense. We're not included in that. We have been excluded from that. Okay? So, yeah. I just think it's just another way for them. Because it's really weird how things work politically. At one point, they're advocating, the politicians or the government, whatever. It seems like they're okay with trans rights and gay marriage and stuff because they have passed all these legislative rights and laws in order for them to be able to marry and do whatever they want. And now, due to this this administration with Trump, now they're pretending to be all conservative and they want to basically redact a lot of these things that they have once seemed to have no problem with. So the government and the politicians and the powers that be, they're definitely playing a game where they're just playing on our emotions and they're getting us fired up and distracted because how is it that one moment you guys are okay with it and then now they're pretending to be such a religious administration. America is now this conservative country of Christianity and we gotta do what's right and transism is wrong and LGBTQ is wrong and all this stuff when you guys didn't have a problem with this not too long ago. They try to make it seem like this is all liberal stuff but no, both Democratic and Republicans definitely don't have a problem with LGBTQ, but they'll use it as a pawn to psychologically manipulate the minds of people and to distract people and have us going against each other and our differences when it comes to sexuality and gender identity. But at the end of the day, they don't really care about what people identify as or how they live. They're just using this as a device of division, a tactic of division and manipulation. And you see black women are now donating their money to Naquan Palmer. But I just feel like he's a grifter. I don't know what is his personal vendetta against trans women. If he had a relationship with someone in the past and they cheated on him with a trans woman or something, I don't know. But I just think it's really stupid for him to clout chase in this kind of way, attach himself to T.S. Madison, who is a big advocate in the trans community, the black trans community, and find himself in this legal battle that he's not going to win, that is going to tarnish him and hurt him more than benefit him. And it's like everybody's trying to do the whole Tasha K blueprint where they're, doing something very controversial and over the top and getting themselves into legal trouble, whether it's being sued or having restraining orders put on them or whatever it is. And I just think it's ridiculous. That he's willing to do all this for clout. Like, I understand making money on social media is exciting and addictive and, but you have to find other ways, other avenues to get yourself out there and to profit online rather than getting yourself caught up in legal battles with people, harassing people, getting into altercations, restraining orders. This is too much and it has gone too far. And T.S. Madison is not the one to reckon with. Like, she's known for taking people to court and she advocates a lot about self-defense and protecting yourself. And he doesn't have the right to harass T.S. Madison simply because you don't agree with the way how she lives her life. You have no right to do that, to pop up at her property and make threats. And people think it's okay. Black women think that's okay. I don't understand. Like, I don't see how some of you guys are so caught up in this where you feel like trans women, black trans women are such a threat to your existence. Like, is it over being male-centered? Is it over the scarcity of dusty black men who don't even care about you, that's lying to you right now? A lot of you guys are going after these trans women, but a lot of times the men that you're with, they're not even dealing with trans women. They're dealing with their homeboys with beards and do-rags and shit. You know, like you're so invested, and it's like you probably with someone right now that's on the deal and you don't even know. You see, I don't understand. I don't really feel like they are a threat. I think black women need to shift their attention and stop falling for the okie doke and stop giving people their time and energy and reaction. We're too emotional and reactionary to things. And we need to do like how Beyonce do a lot of times, is just ignore things and let it run its course. But we just allow people to play on our emotions and manipulate and take full advantage because of our insecurities. You know, he's profiting, but how are you profiting? Well, because you feel like he's an ally and he's advocating for you. Because for a lot of us as black women, we don't have anybody that's an ally or who's advocating or showing up for us in life. We don't have anybody that's fighting for us. So I guess seeing, especially when it comes to being protected by black men. So if a black gay man is willing to put himself on the front line and go against trans women, black trans women, we're okay with that. And we're going to celebrate and uplift him and donate money to his GoFundMe, which is at 50K. It's just ridiculous, and it's really sad how insecure a lot of us are, that we feel that trans women is such a big threat. Now, I could understand the safety concerns when it comes to the bathrooms, because there's a lot of men who like to play semantics when it comes to transgender women and using the bathroom. I had a man who's not transgender, who's not a trans woman, who wears men's clothes with a beard, okay? He's Jamaican. This is an older man in his late 50s or mid 50s who made a joke saying, because the men's bathroom was being cleaned by the housekeeper, and he was like, oh, well, if I got to use a bathroom, I should be able to just walk inside a women's bathroom because, that's a transgender woman can do. We live in the day age. They say that they're women, right? So I should be able to walk in the bathroom because I'm a woman. And I said, that's not how it works. First of all, you're not trans. You're not even passing in no shape or form, in any capacity. No one looks at you and thinks trans woman. You're wearing a fucking fennel shirt, a puffer vest with work jeans and work boots, with greasy fingers and hands, and grease and oil under your fingertips, with calluses on your hand, with a beard, wearing a fitted cap, talking about you're a trans woman and laughing and being facetious. And that's where the lines start to become blurred. And I don't think a lot of trans women take that into consideration. But there are men out there who think it's funny and try to take advantage of the fact that trans women can use the women's bathroom, and they feel like they should be able to use it too. Because essentially what they're saying is, oh, trans women are men, and if I'm a man, I should be able to walk inside of the women's bathroom, and I should be able to say that I'm a woman and get away with it, since trans women are able to use the bathroom and get away with it, even though we all know that they're born male. So is the blurring of the lines. It's people now trying to use semantics and double think and manipulation and all this weird stuff to be able to do things. And some of these men have terrible intentions, because some of them might try to walk inside of the bathroom with a full beard in full men clothes and gear, talking about something they're a trans woman and wanting to sue and cause a scene. If women call them out and say, I'm not comfortable, this man is in the bathroom, he could turn around and say, I'm not a man, I'm a trans woman. Even though he has a beard, with a fennel shirt, work jeans, work boots, with grease under his fingers, nothing feminine or female passing about him. And some people might say, well, that's just a once in a blue type of situation. Most men aren't doing that. But the way how these men are moving with this whole red pill situation and how they feel about women and feminism and women's rights, and they like to be facetious like that. They like to be facetious like that. And they might try to push for that with the intent to harm women by going under the guise of, oh, I'm a trans woman. And then now we have to start asking ourselves, okay, so what is the aesthetic of a trans woman? Because if you didn't transition, if you're not transitioning, are you still, do you still have the right to call yourself a trans woman? If you're walking around with a full beard, wearing a fennel shirt and work boots and jeans, telling me you're a trans woman, like, you know, it's the blurring of the lines. It's the blurring of the lines. And then a lot of women, because of women's rights and feminism and all this stuff, feel like a lot of the work of the foremothers or whoever, the pioneers of feminism and the efforts that even women today are doing to continue to advocate and fight for women's rights. Like, you know, it's kind of erasing the work that women have fought for and the rights that women have fought for. If trans women are allowed to use the women's bathroom and are allowed to be in the same spaces, namely women's sports and all this stuff, a lot of women aren't for that, because it's like, okay, if we allow you guys to have a stake or a say in this and to be included in this, what else are you guys are going to have a say in? Like, what else are you guys going to be able to determine on behalf of women's rights? I don't think women want trans women to mingle in the politics of women's rights. I think women as a collective will more so be comfortable with trans women pioneering their own laws and rights for trans women. And that includes bathroom, sports, and whatever else. Because we just don't want the goalposts being moved, and women don't want to have to share spaces where the lines begin to become blurred, and we're having to compromise how we feel, our concerns, our safety, to accommodate a sub group that essentially don't live the same experience of reality as us as biological women. You don't. You know, being a woman is more than putting on makeup and looking fish in the face and beating your face and wearing wigs and having a body that is tea and oh my gosh. Being a woman has nothing to do with that, because most of us aren't walking out the house in a full face of makeup. Most of us aren't looking all glammed. Most of us are too busy trying to survive, taking care of family and children, dealing with misogyny, dealing with predators in the street, dealing with being a prey in the spaces that we have to occupy with men and even times with women. Being a woman is not about being pretty and beautiful and woman passing. It's about shaping culture, shaping society, being gatekeepers of society and culture, and also of morality, politics, and religion. And we have a very big responsibility to play in life, in this world. And being that we have to bring life into this world, or we're expected to, or that's expected and demanded of us, women go through a lot. And we just don't, and we go through a lot that a lot of trans women cannot relate to. And to say that we are the same, we're not. And I have no problems with trans women, but we are not the same. Hence the difference in name. Trans women and then women. And that's just what it is, unfortunately. You know, a lot of people are not gonna like what I have to say, but it's true. Like, you know, you could be an ally to trans women as a cis woman or biological woman, but at what cost? I think a lot of women are afraid of losing a little bit of rights they do have to trans women. I think that's really where the concern is, especially in this patriarchal system. They might do that. Like I said, they want to put us up against each other. And so the system, they'll play into that. They play into that narrative for sure to cause more friction and division. Because they don't respect the divine feminine in the first place. Whether it be in the presentation of a trans woman, a feminine man, or a woman, or a biological woman. They don't respect the divine feminine. They don't respect the female principle. They don't. Hence why women have been oppressed and suppressed for centuries. They have an issue with it. Because they know that all of this chaos that you see in the world is due to the fact that women aren't being treated the way that we're supposed to. All this chaos is the divine feminine being out of order. And it has been done by the patriarchy and these systems that have been put into place to oppress women. The world would be a better place if things were in order, in divine order. If the divine feminine was respected, whether it be Mother Earth, Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, women, children. Women and children are violated or are not protected and are exploited and abused. And a lot of men don't see a problem with that. And it is very shocking that a lot of women are so male-centered, and a lot of us are dealing with men who don't even see us as human. You know, had children and everything, and married to or was married to someone that definitely didn't respect you as a woman, didn't see you as a human being. And I think a lot of men misconstrue what it is that we are advocating for. They think that we want to be men. No. And they like to be facetious saying, oh, you guys want equal rights. Okay, so if you're drafted into the military, it shouldn't be an issue, right? Oh, you want equal rights, right? So if you're doing a masculine job, or if you're working in a male-predominated industry, if something happens to you, like if you're assaulted or something, well, that's what you get, because it's equal rights, right? You wanted to be in the spaces with men, so this is what you get. And, you know, it's the victim blaming. But, you know, it's a lot of hypocrisy. And that's not what we're advocating for. I don't think women as a collective, or black women specifically, because I'm a black woman, that's not what we're advocating for. I know that's not what I advocate for. I want to be seen as a human being. That's what I am. Before I'm a woman, I'm a human being. Okay? Because being a woman is not a part of the human nomenclature. Being a female is in science and biology. Being a woman is a social construct. And with social constructs, being a woman, you are expected to follow certain roles and expectations. Right? And as women, we're expected to cook, clean, have children, shut up and eat your food, and not complain, and be subservient to a man, and listen to a man, and let the man lead, because men are leaders, when that's not true. It's weird how women are told, or black women more specifically, believe that black men, I see a lot of black women in my life who are very black male centered, and who allow black men to lead, who are destroying their lives. They have allowed these men to lead the family, or lead a relationship, lead a marriage, and they have done nothing but cause chaos and destruction, have abused children in the family, And when I say abuse, you know what I'm talking about. Pedophiles and pedophilia running up and running wild in the family, abuse happening, domestic violence happening, abandoning their families, being worthless and not having ambition, being financially irresponsible, not doing anything. You're pulling the weight, but yet and still you still advocate for these men and think that they're supposed to be leading you, when honestly you've been leading yourself. That whole time you was in that 12-year or 20-year, 30-year marriage, you would have one really leading the family. What decisions was he making? He was too busy out having sex with Phyllis across the street and creating babies all throughout the community. So what are we talking about here? Many of them will lack the discipline to even be a leader. So we need to stop all of that stuff and stop following these gender roles, because that's why a lot of us, we allowing these men to lead us to the doctor's office with these diagnoses of HIV and STDs and all this shit. We're picking up our teeth off the floor behind these men, letting them lead and accepting abuse, letting them abuse the children and traumatize and terrorize the children in the community, and still want to protect these men who are shown to be a detriment to the community and those that they're around. We need to stop all of this, men are leaders and all of that. I don't think so. I think it's a conscious decision if a man truly wants to be a leader. And that takes discipline, that takes morality and morale. And a lot of them don't have that. They want to live their life free and wild with no consequences. That's the life that a lot of them want to live. So it's crazy out here, but that's just my take on that. I don't think it's going to work out in his favor. I think Naquan Palmer is going to be a sore loser in this, because he has no business harassing T.S. Madison at all. You feel me? At the end of the day, trans women, that's not going anywhere. They're always going to exist. And I think, that's not going anywhere. So if black women are supporting him, or anybody else who they think has the ability to overturn the concept of transwomanism or transgenderism, that's not going to happen. Just like we want to have the right to exist, we have to respect other people's right to exist as well. And not get into a back and forth, fighting online and stuff. We got too much other things to be doing than to be worrying about trans women. Because like I said, black women don't control politics. Nowhere in this world do we control politics. Our voice and our vote does not matter. You could think it does, but it doesn't, because your everyday life reflects that it doesn't matter. That you don't have equal rights with a white woman, and ultimately how you feel doesn't matter. And a lot of things happen to us medically, politically, judicially, unfair, biased, racist. It's happening. And so you don't need to be fighting against trans women. What you need to be doing is just being a better you, decentering men, and finding yourself and your happiness and your peace. And stop running behind these dusties. That's the only thing that's going to save you. Okay? Because these black trans women are not concerned with these dusties. They're getting their money and they're traveling and they're living their life. They already been telling black women, I don't know why you guys are out here worrying about these dusty, no good dog ass men. Because they screwing everybody. So, but that's all I got to say. Okay? Peace. That's all I got to say, man. Before I lose my voice talking. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Most people don't even get to the end because you guys be too busy trying to skip through videos and shit like that. But it's whatever. Until next time, bye.